Facebook is making big changes in how you see political ads on the site. The social media giant came under fire for its lack of transparency after Russians allegedly used Facebook ads to meddle in the 2016 presidential election. Well, now all political ads on Facebook and its subsidiary, Instagram, will be labeled that way. Clicking on the label will show who paid for the ad. Users can flag any other content they think should be included. You can also see an archive of ads, plus details on their budgets, who financed them, and how many views they got. Carolyn Everson is Facebook's Vice President of Global Marketing Solutions. Carolyn, good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good to have you here. So tell us what this new policy requires advertisers to do.
One of the things that we heard from our community is they want to understand the ads that they are receiving, who were they from, who was trying to influence them. And so the political ad transparency work that we're doing is now going to give people all across the United States a real understanding of who paid for the ad. And then if they want to go and get further information, they'll understand who actually received the ad, who were reached, the age, the gender, and the location, and how much was spent.
Right. In other words, in order to place an ad, you have to have a U.S. ID, an address, a social security number, all of that. However, we knew in the last elections the Russians used an American entity to place their ad. So how would it prevent a foreign entity from influencing our elections?
We are doing everything we can to ensure the integrity of elections, especially ahead of the midterm elections. So this is one very critical step to go through verification process, but it's not the only step. We are using technology with machine learning as well as people to evaluate whether or not those ads are legitimate. And we're also asking people on Facebook to report ads. So you can click on the right-hand side of any ad on Facebook, and you can tell us a lot of things, actually. You can say if you never want to receive an ad from that advertiser again, but you also can tell us if you think this is a political ad that should have been labeled.
How much do you think people will engage with this? Because sometimes, and we've seen certainly with social media, people like to reinforce their existing views of things and then pass that along to other people. So how much do you think people will actually look in to see who's behind the ad and really go down that lane?
We think people genuinely want to understand who is trying to influence them. We also are going to make an API available so news broadcasters and third-party watchdogs can also look out for whether or not someone's trying to influence both political or issue ads.
And remind people what an API is.
Yes, so that allows people from a technology standpoint, so a third-party group, to access the information in a very seamless way so they can watch to see who is actually running those ads and give us feedback.
So access the information behind the ad,
yes,
to know who's behind it,
exactly,
and so forth.
Yes. We think it's incredibly important that people have full transparency. By the way, not just with political and issue ads. We're taking a broader view so that people can see who are running ads across all different types of categories, not just political and issue ads.
Well, Carolyn, this sounds all very good now, but, you know, Facebook has gone through some dicey times. Mark Zuckerberg was on Capitol Hill, did a major mea culpa, because people thought, what took you guys so long to make the changes? I would imagine you can't go through something like this and not have a moment of self-reflection within the company.
This has been an incredibly important moment for Facebook. I've been at Facebook for 7 years, and I think this is probably the biggest cultural shift that I have seen, being led by Mark. But the entire company understands the enormous responsibility we have to protect people's privacy, to reduce the spread of fake news, and to ensure the integrity of our elections. And the entire company is focused. We're adding over 10,000 people. We're using technology to help us find bad actors and bad behavior. We have a huge responsibility to over 2 billion people, and I think it's a real understanding of that responsibility and a commitment of resources against it.
Can you ever really control the privacy, though? That's what I wonder. Can you ever really do that?
One of the things that we are very focused on is giving consumers full control over their experience on Facebook. As a matter of fact, in Europe today, there is a new data law that rolled out called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. And what it essentially is doing, and we're rolling it out here in the United States and around the world, is giving consumers full control over their experience. You can tell us whether or not you want ads to be targeted. You can determine whether or not you want us to use facial recognition. And
you just said Facebook is voluntarily putting in place GDPR here in the United States?
Yes, we are rolling out, we're calling it the global privacy experience because GDPR isn't really relevant for people here in the United States in terms of terminology. But yes, the same controls that are being made available in Europe are rolling out globally. We want consumers to feel completely in control of their Facebook experience. If they do not want targeted ads, they do not have to have them.
Yeah, but my understanding too, if you don't want the targeted ads, you have to remove your own political preference on Facebook.
We are giving people information around their political affiliation, their religion, as well as their relationship status, and they can remove that information if they don't want that to be utilized in targeted ads.
All right, Carolyn Everson, thank you so much for coming to the table.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.